What's going on, everyone? I want to talk to you today about when YieldMax's greatest strength and greatest weakness collide, and it becomes a problem for certain holders of YieldMax funds. I want to talk today about a friend who has held YieldMax funds for a long time and ended up in this crossroads, and I want to talk a little bit about this. This is Mike, the tactical stock scalper. All right, all right. What is YieldMax's biggest strength? Well, return on investment. Wouldn't you say? I mean, maybe you have a different thing, right? That's their biggest strength, a quick return on investment. What's their biggest weakness? Declining dividends over time. Now, people will literally argue with me that their distributions do not go down over time. They absolutely indeed do. All YieldMax funds distributions decline over time. If you want to look for yourself, go to somewhere like Stock Analysis. That's just what I use. I'm sure there's 100 other websites out there you can look at. And look up, for instance, Tesla. Tesla is a great case study. Why is that? Because it's been out the longest, and you can see what happens to the distributions over time with YieldMax funds. And what happens? Well, pull up a stock analysis, type in Tesla or whatever your favorite YieldMax fund is, okay? And look at the distribution history in a chart or whatever kind of visual representation you need. Okay, I prefer a chart. Other people like other stuff. Doesn't matter. It's whatever. But you will see that the dividends distributions go down over time. And in retirement or looking to retire, that can be extremely problematic. Why is that problematic? Can anyone answer that? Why are declining dividends over time problematic in retirement? Because, I'll give you the answer. You don't have to say it. The problem is you have to keep funneling your distributions back into it. You have to buy more shares, right? To compensate for the declining dividends over time. Like, for instance, I like my funds to either with the distributions to remain stable or go up over time. That way, I don't have to keep funneling my distributions back into it. I can have more livable income. Okay? So, anyway, just go to a chart or go to stock analysis and pull up your favorite YieldMax fund and look at the dividend history. Now, that fights with YieldMax's greatest strength is return on investment. A lot of funds, we have a quick return on investment, like Misty, Nvidia, Coney. I mean, there's quite a few others, right, that have a quick return on investment of like a year or two. Well, I have a buddy who bought Tesla in July of 2023 and kept adding shares until roughly December of 2023 when he had the bulk of his Tesla shares. And this man was a Tesla whale. Okay, he had quite a number of Tesla shares. Okay, and up until a couple days ago, he was at 80% return on investment. Pretty solid, right? Still had another 20% to go to reach his ROI. The issue where the rubber meets the road here and the problem is that if the distributions continue to decline, that ROI continues to go further and further out. So maybe they're like at what, like 30 cents now per share for Tesla, something like that, roughly. If they continue to decline, he's looking at another year and a half, maybe 2 years, depending how much they decline over time to get that return on investment. So much for a quick return on investment, right? So it just depends, obviously, on the fund you choose. But they're all going to have this problem. And so for me, like, I only hold like 12% roughly of yield max funds in my account. Knowing this is their weakness, okay, I don't want to have to keep funneling money into my yield max funds. I want, me personally, just work to their strength. Quick return on investment in most cases, not all. In some cases, that's a better way to say it. And so I just lump sum, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 buys, and just call it good. And really don't reinvest back into it, and just use the distributions into something else. Now, the beauty of YieldMax is when you finally reach return on investment, okay? It's all profit month over month. But you have a decision to make when you get to a certain point, whether it's 50% or whatever. How long is it going to take you to reach that other 50%? Are there better opportunities out there? Is your money better spent in something else? I don't know. That's up to you to decide for your own, your own portfolio and your own decisions. But don't don't bury your head in the sand. All my yield max and dividend cult friends, right? We're all in the dividend cult. Whether you're like me and prefer dividends that remain stable or go up over time, whether you're into ultra high yield, doesn't matter. We're all in a dividend cult together, my friends. I got some dividend cult merch. There, buy it. There you go. I'm shameless plug, and I'm grifting to the max. But anyway, I digress. It's important to know the weaknesses of the funds you hold. To me, that is what I look for. I want to know the exact weakness of any fund I hold so I can kind of combat it in the future. And that is YieldMax's biggest weakness, is their declining dividends over time. And how to combat that. So like I said, for me, it's lump summing 1, 2, or 3 buys and call it good, and just let the fund naturally work to hopefully get a quick return on investment. Or you can keep funneling the distributions back into it, 70, 80, 90, 100%, to help offset the declining dividends over time. That's up to you to determine how you want to fight that. But it's a real problem, and it's a real issue. And again, please, my friends, don't bury your head in the sand. Recognize the weakness. Learn to attack it in any way that you see fit. I don't know. That's just what I think about YieldMax and the quandary people come up against when it comes to return on investment and declining dividends, when they finally butt heads and you have to make a decision as to which direction you want to go for your retirement account. I'm going to do an interview with my buddy that is a Tesla whale, or was a Tesla whale, why he sold, what made his decision, why he bought so much Tesla to begin with. I want to get into that interview with that man, but that'll be in the future. But anyway, that's my thoughts for the day on YieldMax's biggest weakness. So Mike, Tactical Stock Scalper out.